Brisbane is staying in lockdown. Let's have a look. Good morning, everyone. Florian.heise here, and welcome to this episode of HeiseSays. Unfortunately, it looks like those of us in Brisbane will remain in lockdown for at least another 24 hours, while our neighbours and colleagues in other LGAs aren't being restricted like that. So at least there's some good news. And let's have a look at this latest. Well, there's some interesting comments from our Premier, so grab your stein of coffee, and probably for those of you in Queensland, it may even be beer o'clock already. It's nearly 9 a.m. as I'm recording this. I'm not recommending it. But, well, let's have a look at what our Premier has to say, because in a small clip, there are a few interesting things. There have been 4 new cases in the last 24 hours, only 4. So they're keeping us all in lockdown. We actually have a family member who is in a hotspot, so we're waiting on a result. I mean, I tell you what, if it got to us, we'd be a cluster in our household alone with so many of us. We'd make the news, but unfortunately be nowhere exciting that I've visited. So let's have a look at this brief, press release from
quite
the
comfortable
Premier.
About that, but our contact tracers still need to do a little bit of work there. Now, there's another 2 that have just popped up this morning. It's a mother and daughter from Carindale. They got symptoms and were tested yesterday, and they have been out quite extensively around Brisbane. So we really need our contact tracers, and this is the advice of Dr. Young, to really get on top of this issue quickly today. So I want to thank everyone who's come.
See, this is all these people going out and having fun, doing stuff or shopping, buying food.
Out and got tested. So we've had 26,993 tests in the last 24 hours, and we've had 17,436 vaccines in the last 24 hours as well. So that's really good. So what does that mean? So I really need people to listen to this, because it is a bit of a mixed bag, but I think if we all do the right thing, we can get through this together. So the lockdown tonight will end for the following LGAs. Okay, so I'll go through them. Noosa, Sunshine Coast, Ipswich, Logan, Redlands, Gold Coast, Scenic Rim, Lockyer Valley, Somerset and Townsville.
So there you go. Well, that's good for my family members down the Gold Coast, for people I know on the sunny coast, and those viewers who are out at Ipswich. I mean, good stuff, people. We'll be happy.
There will be restrictions that will continue to apply, and those restrictions will be in place for the next 2 weeks. That means everyone will have to carry a mask on them and wear that mask.
Here's an interesting bit, what she says here. Just listen to this closely, everyone.
They're outside of their home, but of course not when you're driving your vehicle. But obviously that means going to shopping centres, hospitals, aged care facilities, churches, everywhere else. This is our added protection at the moment until everyone gets their vaccine.
Did you hear that? Our added protection until everyone gets their vaccine. Here's a crazy conspiracy theory I'm going to put out there. Maybe it's not so crazy. Maybe I just haven't had enough coffee this morning, because I haven't had breakfast. I'm just jumping here recording this. Could it possibly be that there might be an incentive for our political leaders to cause discomfort, to overcome the hesitancy a large proportion of our population has? Could that be possibly true? And could this be weighing into that? So let's just jump back and listen to this again.
At the moment, until everyone gets their vaccine. Okay.
Let's listen to that again. Why not?
At the moment, until everyone gets their vaccine.
I mean, do you enjoy walking around wearing masks? People looking like criminals? I mean, Rachel saw another bloke when she was out shopping wearing, like what I do when I go out, a paint stripping mask, to do it properly, because that'll protect me from everything else. If you really want to go hardcore, there's some prepper channels. I think, what is it? There's Surviving Lucy, or some Austrian prepper girl, and she wears a full gloves, gets a full mask, a respirator, a full goggles, gel around it, strips off before she goes into the house, full gloves, everything, just to go shopping. So you can do it properly. You can do it real properly. That's a fair bit of work, though.
Okay, now, secondly, because our contact tracers need that extra time, we need another 24 hours. So I'm really asking people in the Brisbane City Council and Moreton Bay local government areas, the lockdown will continue for 24 hours. Now, we will come back early tomorrow morning once our contact tracers get on top of this, and we'll look at the case numbers overnight. So I want to thank everyone for doing the right thing, but as you can see, we've just got a situation at the moment that has just come in, and we really need to give the people, our contact tracers, the time to do that. So Dr. Young will go through in a bit more detail where the mother and daughter have been. It's early days, we'll get more information during the day, but it is absolutely vital that we get on top of this today, everyone. So I'm just asking for that extra 24 hours. And the final thing I'll just say before handing over to Dr. Young is that at National Cabinet this morning we are...
Honestly, the sign guy is the best dressed here. He's the most stylish. He's got the nice jacket, the good belt buckle. Of the three of them, he's looking sharp there. And my children and wife are learning Auslan at the moment, just in case we need it for Edward. I really need to step it up, but it's interesting. Anyway, props there, sign guy. You're looking good, looking sharp.
We're asking for that reduction in overseas international arrivals. Our hotels are stretched. We are basically at capacity, and the Deputy Commissioner will give the numbers on how many we're at, but we are at that capacity. We're stretched. We need an immediate reduction by 50%.
So what impact is that going to... I mean, there's other articles that we'll look at today where people are calling for a roadmap out of this mess. This is just adding additional sovereign risk and uncertainty to businesses. If you're in the tourism industry, now there's calls for reduced people coming in, even just for business purposes.
I'll be raising that this morning at National Cabinet. So thank you everyone for doing the right thing. Please stay safe, and I'll hand over to Dr. Young.
So there we have it, everyone. Brisbane remains in lockdown, while the other local LGAs, at least for another 24 hours, we're in lockdown, while the other local LGAs are freed from these restrictions. Although we still all have to wear our masks until we all get vaccinated, guys. Can you see that sticking around? That's going to be annoying. That may be enough just to tip some people over. Now, the thing is, you're seeing so much in the news, which is scaring people, conflicting information from our own, Chief Health Officer here in Queensland, compared to what the Prime Minister is saying. Who do you trust? Do you trust any of them? Well, there we have it, everyone. Another 24-hour lockdown in Brisbane. Now, tonight I have Freedom Friday, and what I'd like to do is, pretty much talk about the lockdown and hear what you have to say, what your experiences have been about the lockdown. For us, we've been working from home for years, so it doesn't impact our ability to work. It impacts our ability to socialize. For a homeschooling family, that's a big thing. It's school holidays now, and this is when playdates are organised. So, now, what are the solutions to this? We've handed power to these people, to these political leaders. You can't be frustrated if you've been voting Labor in or Liberal in all the time, if you haven't voted for a party that actually advocates for protecting your liberties or rights. Maybe it's time that people became politically active and think about it at the next election. Remember what has happened. Remember the impositions on your life. Remember the economic sacrifices they're willing to make for the greater good. Because right now, even acts of protest and defiance, frankly, it'll get you fined. There's a guy over in WA got fined $5,000. The police are just going to get annoyed. They're just going to follow orders. You can get angry as much as you want. But really, it's the political power that's been handed over to them. They have control. It's the people you've put in place. And Queensland, we're a very left-leaning state. People love their socialism. They love their handouts. I know people who contacted the Premier to thank her for protecting us. Everyone. And that's when I knew she would come in with the next election, no problem. That's going to be interesting to see what happens at the polling booth the next time round. Because lockdowns win elections, guys. They sadly seem to. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one in the comments down below. Join us for our Twitch stream tonight for Freedom Friday and share your experiences and stories with the audience. I'll try and organise a call-in. Worst case, we'll try and do it with Discord. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. If you're a fan and enjoy the content I create here, there are a few ways you can support us. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can sign up for SelfWealth or Stake. Use our affiliate links for Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or AussieBroadband. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.